Welcome. My name is Nicole, and I am an independent artist and small business owner, and this is a little glimpse of what my life looks like working in a week. This week began with me cleaning my office and trying to organize a little bit. Since I'm primarily an illustrator, I have a lot of prints and postcards because that's what I like to make and draw, and I have a Patreon, so I end up having a lot of prints, and unfortunately I have definitely outgrown my print area, so I finally ordered new shelves from IKEA, the same ones that I had before. I really like them. I had originally gotten them for just paper shelves because that's what they're intended for, but then I realized that my 5x7 prints could fit perfectly 2x2 on each shelf, and so that's kind of where I went with those postcards and organizing them. But it's called the Harvmata from IKEA, and I guess they don't sell the white ones anymore, but they have black ones right now, or maybe I just didn't see the white ones, I'm not sure. But anyway, I was really excited that they were in stock and I was able to get them sent to me. Other than how I use them and the function of them, I really like these shelves because of how easily they're able to be put together. The shelves are already all assembled basically, you just have to snap them together in the right way and then put the paper shelves in, and overall it's really pretty sturdy and holds my prints really well, and they're pretty affordable. I think that each one is somewhere around 20 something dollars per per unit, and so I don't know, I think it's a pretty good deal, and I've had them the other two for years, and I was finally happy to upgrade my whole printing situation happening. I actually filmed me putting them all together, which I don't need to show you the whole footage, but basically it only took me about 6 minutes to build both, so yeah, definitely recommend those shelves. So now here I am just putting my prints away, and honestly, this is really satisfying to me, seeing these prints that have just been kind of stacked around for a while. Of course, it wasn't bad that the way that they were stacked, it just wasn't organized enough and easy for me when I'm packing orders or when I'm preparing for a convention. I also have this little bin from Joann's that I got when it was closing, really good deal. Unfortunately, I guess I don't know where you can get these exact bins anymore, but a little bit of overflow prints that I already have all the other prints in the shelves, and then those can go on top of there for when I need to restock within the shelves themselves. So now that was done, I needed to go ahead and work on some Patreon things. I needed to get my wallpapers done for my Patreon. I usually do a calendar and a regular wallpaper with the illustration art, some type of illustration, whether it's the sticker design or the full print for the wallpapers, and I needed to make the calendar. I do that in Adobe Illustrator with a template that I will link below and put the artist's name on screen. This calendar wallpaper template has been extremely useful to me, and so definitely go check out this creator because they also have other digital items and resources as well. Also, shout out to this Moomin troll because he got lost in the mail with all of the tariff stuff happening and then shipped back to the original shipper and then back to me, and basically was the present I ordered for myself for my birthday about a month and a half ago, so I'm very excited to have him here with me. And so I've been using him at my desk as kind of like a posture buddy, which I guess is a thing now, which is really cool. I love the Moomins and Tove Jansson. She was a very famous Finnish illustrator, most notably for the Moomin characters. She did a lot in her lifetime, including a really cool illustrated version of The Hobbit. Basically, just a huge inspiration to me in terms of creating really unique characters and stories that are touching and kind. After I did all the Patreon stuff, I needed to get a little bit caught up in my journal for the week. This weekend, before, I had gone to Claude's 30th birthday at the Cal Academy of Sciences in San Francisco, which is a place I love. And it was really exciting to be able to celebrate his 30th birthday, and like the mayor of San Francisco was there, and it was a whole party with cupcakes, and overall 10 out of 10, wonderful time. Happy birthday to Claude, the albino alligator, who serves as a kind of representation of how you can be unique and different, but also be really cool and celebrated. There's obviously a lot more to that, and a lot more I find personally meaningful with it, but happy birthday, Claude. I use the Hobonichi Cousin not only as a personal journal for myself, but also for planning business things and everything I need to do for the week, so that's basically what all I'm doing here. After finishing with my journal, I think it was about dinner time, but then after dinner, I was working a little bit more on getting this enamel pen design for my Patreon ready. I kept fiddling with it because I needed to submit it and get it starting to be manufactured, but I just kept fiddling with the flowers, which were inspired by the little blue flax or prairie flax that can be found in California. And then this is a blue band hermit crab that I did actually see last month when I was in the north coast of California for my birthday with my family. It's my favorite place on earth, and I love looking on tide pools there, and I did see some of these little guys. So yeah, that's what those Patreon rewards for the month were inspired by for this month. Basically what I'm doing here is just a lot of really small fiddling and thinking about the design for the enamel pen, because the black outlines will be metal and the inside will be the enamel fill, and it's just a lot of calculating and drawing and figuring out what I like and what I'm gonna do with it. So Monday was then basically just a full organizing, getting ahead for the week, getting caught up, and then kind of planning for the rest of the week. Tuesday, I'm excited to say, was a full drawing day. I have not had one of these in a very, very long time. I think that's the thing that's most surprising about this job, is how much of my time is spent doing other things other than drawing. Like moving boxes. Moving boxes is so much of my time. Anyway, I love being an artist and a small business owner, and I'm trying to figure out ways to try to make it so that I have more of these kinds of days where I can work on my skills and develop my stories and characters and do what I love, and the whole reason why I've chosen this career path. So, yeah, it was very refreshing this day. Here I am working on this illustration. As I was just mentioning, these Patreon rewards are inspired by my time at the north coast of California, and here is my character, Old Man Chowder, just kind of lounging in a tide pool. So then you have some starfish, and you have a hermit crab, and yeah, you've got the little tide pool sculpin, yeah, which I saw also when I was looking in the tide pools up there. So I think this prep was really fun for me because I think this is kind of where I just want to be all of the time. I kind of want to just be lounging like Old Man Chowder, who, by the way, his full name is Oldman Chowder. Technically his first name is Oldman and his last name is Chowder, but I mostly call him Chowder. He's also really not that old. He just basically is like me, someone perhaps in their equivalent of their 30s, starting to feel a bit older, in terms of my mind as well as my body. So, anyway, Old Man Chowder is a character that, my husband and we relate to a lot, so I hope that other people can relate to him too. He just kind of chills and kind of has some strong opinions sometimes, but cares a lot about nature, and overall just round, he's not orange, round, just a little brown frog inspired by the Western toad, because it's something that I had been working on a couple years ago. Basically, this print was also really fun for me to do together because it was a little bit of a different color palette than I usually do, and I added a lot of, I don't know, just basically when you look in tide pools, you see a lot of reflections from the sky and the ocean and just whatever's around it, whether it be rocks and other things like that. And it's really beautiful, and I know that these colors aren't exactly the way that it's seen in real life, but it makes me feel the way that I feel when I look at a tide pool, basically in the colors that I used here. So while I did really enjoy working on that print, there was something about it that, I don't know, my brain kept like fuzzing out with it. I don't know how to really describe it, but it just needed to take breaks from it. So I was actually working on the Patreon print for the next month simultaneously at this one as the other one, which this print that I'm working on right here is a print that's also inspired by my time in the North Coast. I really think that the best thing that you can do as an artist, based upon my experience, because I hate to say like one thing is the right thing, all I can really say is that when I immerse myself in the things that I like, I am a lot more inspired, a lot more happy, and I find my stories in my art, and I don't know, they can just really start to take form easier. And I get burnt out a lot less when I'm really thinking about the things that I like. So taking a birthday trip up to my favorite place really did a lot for me, my mental health, and inspired 2 art prints from it. So, I mean, I can't really complain there. Basically, I had seen a bunch of ravens on that trip, like lots of ravens, not crows. And they had been, which, nothing wrong with crows, we love crows too. One of them was sitting up on like a truck in this middle of this area, and I thought, hey, you know what would be really cool is if that truck was really full of pumpkins. And it was like an old truck in like the woods. And then I filled out also the composition with my ghost frogs and pumpkin frog, and I don't know, for some reason that print just like was really easy for my mind to take form, because I think I was sitting on the inspiration in the story for a little bit and it was exciting. The last piece of art that I worked on and finished that day was this sticker design for Patreon. It is Old Man Chowder hanging out with a starfish in the tide pool, kind of maybe pretending to be the starfish. I don't know. I imagine Old Man Chowder just sees the starfish like what he imagines, like lounging about, and then Old Man Chowder wants to do the same, and we love that for Chowder. Chowder gets to just relax and do what he pleases. I had just shown a picture of the TV because I was working in the living room here, and I was watching The Summer I Turned Pretty, which, by the way, I don't need to go too far into this, but this was the day before the series finale, and it was really exciting this year because I feel like it got a lot bigger this year with like TikTok, or maybe because more people have had time to watch it. I'm not really sure, but the point is that I've been enjoying it since season 1 and I've read all the books, and so it was exciting to me to have more people around to talk about it with, and I finally convinced Gerard to watch it with me, and he got really into it as well. So I don't know, this was just a fun like summer thing to do, and I was happy to see other people enjoying it as well. I was rewatching previous episodes while I was working on this because it somehow in my head kind of went along with, you know, just the theme of summer and youth and just good times. I mean, I know that, you know, not all of The Summer I Turned Pretty, if you've seen it, is all happy good times, but some of the older episodes especially just reminds me of like youth and summer and things like that. So anyway, you find inspiration where you do, and I think that's the really cool thing about drawing and creating, and you never know where your inspirations will come from and what can further you to feel further inspired and creative in what you do. Alrighty, so Wednesday. Wednesday was the series finale of The Summer I Turned Pretty, but we were planning for a little party with some food and fun and things, and so basically my whole day was like around The Summer I Turned Pretty, but I was trying to not be online at all because I didn't want to be spoiled because the episode had come out early that day, and anyway, I don't need to go too far into this, but it's just fun for me in these videos to also maybe talk a little bit about the things that make me feel like a person and not just someone who is working all the time. So I started Moonspice in 2019 in terms of being online and starting my online shop, and I went full-time in 2021, so it's been over 4 years of doing this as my full-time job. And I stress the word job here because I do have a small business, an LLC, and I am an artist, and I need this to pay my bills. This is how I finance my life, basically, and I have to reinvest the money back into my business, and it's been a lot of work over the years, and it continues to be a lot of work every day, and that's part of why I want to start doing these videos again, is because with a clear, more intention on the fact that it is a job. I think like when I was first starting and it was maybe my part-time, I was like, oh, this is more of a hobby and it's fun. And while it is a lot more fun than pretty much the other jobs I've ever worked, and it fits me and suits me way better, it's like I have to remember reality and the fact that I've chosen to do this job, but this is the job that has to continue to pay my bills. And so I think a lot of the fun and whimsy of being an artist gets a bit lost with that. That gosh dang capitalism kind of thing happening. All that to say, here I am, this is Wednesday now, and I was packing orders because I have a 1-day shipping day per week, kind of to better use my time instead of like I used to pack orders as they came in, and then I can drop them all, and I don't live as close to a post office anymore. And week to week, I average about maybe 5 to 15 orders a week without, like a shop update, and so it makes the most sense to pack them all in one weekly kind of shipment. So I had a few this week, and so I was able to put them in my FrogCon 2023 bag, which I love. Which, small aside, but FrogCon 2025 is coming up in October, so I'll link below FrogCult's website where you can learn more about that. And thank you so much to anyone who has ever supported my art in any way or bought from my shop. It means so much to me, and that is not something that's lost on me. It's still kind of inconceivable that people want to buy my art, so thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Also, Pelly wanted to come to the post office with me. When I got back from the post office, since we were working on the party that night, I was making some tomato bisque soup, and if you know the reference in The Summer I Turned Pretty, then you know the reference, but anyway. Before later on that day, I had to, my favorite thing that I spend so much time doing, just formatting prints, making them the right color profiles, converting like stickers and things to the right color profile to be able to submit them for printing. And also just adding my, like, Moonspice name on stickers, which I think is really important, by the way. I think that everything you make should try to have, like, your business name or identification on it in some way. And so I just try to make little ways of adding my name onto stickers. Anyway, that's what I'm doing there in Photoshop. And then I am going here and ordering my postcards. I get the medium postcards from Moo. I've been using Moo basically since I started my shop, since I started ordering out. Even back then it was just for like postcards and thank you cards and stuff like that, and then now, because I order out for prints, I order them here. I find that they have a very easy upload system, and what I like most about Moo is that you can have like the one postcard back like I do, or just a blank back, or whatever it is you want to do, but you can get multiple designs, so it works perfect for me. And then this is me ordering my stickers from Sticker Blitz, which I started using them years ago. I have tried so many different sticker companies, but Sticker Blitz is fast, great quality, maybe a little bit more expensive than others, but I love working with them. And so for both Moo and Sticker Blitz, I have codes, I think, that I can include down below if you're interested in using them for your first order, but also no pressure. I'm just sharing because I do genuinely like them and have used them both for years. So anyway, here I am working on some emails and other things like that because a lot of my day is just doing admin work. I had that really fun drawing day the other day, and then kind of in between is just me doing admin work. In exciting news, these enamel pins for the prior month's Patreon rewards, which are supposed to be shipped out in September, arrived. These were inspired by the day I spent at Lake Tahoe. I just kind of imagined my cat, Nadi, who my black cat character named Nadi is just inspired by my real cat, Nadi. So, yeah, I just imagined her. We have a joke, Jared and I, about how she just knows all the little creatures out there, and she writes them postcards, and then when we go and visit areas, the little creatures and things out there have already read the postcards from Nadi, and they're like, oh, those are Nadi's parents, we should say hi, or, oh, we shouldn't be afraid of them. So anyway, we just try to have a lot of little silly things that help to build to my Boomflower Hollow kind of world and just expand my creativity. And since he's a musician too, I hope that it helps him too, just kind of expanding and stretching those kinds of things in our brains. Anyway, these pens have a whole story. They got delayed because of the tariffs, and anyway, I'm just glad they're here, and I paid the tariffs, and everything is good. I'm just so happy when things work out. While I want these videos to focus on work, here's a little bit from the party that we had that night, because I think it's fun to include, and I genuinely had a good time with Jared and our other friend. Moving on to Thursday, I really needed to get the enamel pens sent over for the month. I'm not really sure where the footage went for me designing the enamel pen for the next month. That'll be a raven with a pumpkin on it that you'll see in a little bit, but I don't really know. I guess I did that one of the nights, or maybe I did it this morning for filming. I'll be honest with you, I don't really remember, even though it was only about a week ago. But I think that's part of it, is like, with this job, I feel like I'm always working, but then I look back and I'm like, what did I even do? But hopefully in these videos you can see how, even though you're only catching a glimpse of it, like, everything just takes a long time. And I don't just mean like the day-to-day individual tasks. I mean from the beginning of planning an idea to something to then seeing it released later on, or kind of conceptualizing ideas for Patreon and then, 2 months later basically shipping them out to everyone. And the members of my Patreon. So it just feels like, I think because not a lot gets done on the day-to-day because it's just one small thing in a long line of whatever I'm releasing or whatever I'm doing, and so it just kind of feels like I'm lost in time sometimes. But here I am working on these pens that I need to send to the manufacturer. This is a Pantone book. If you're unfamiliar, it's a way of referencing with people, because screens aren't always reliable in terms of color, but Pantone books, you can say, oh, Pantone so-and-so, and then the person on the other end can look at the book too, and then try to match it based upon that. So this day I did format and find the Pantones for the two pens that I needed to submit to manufacturer. The one was to get ahead, the Raven that you just saw, and then I also was submitting the one from the Tide Pools that I had shared before with the Hermit Crab. Excitingly, Thursday, this day, was also another big drawing day. I have been working on this idea for a little zine for Creature of the Night based upon a collection I had kind of started 2 years ago or so, or released 2 years ago with some snail, frog, and bat art. And I was finally trying to dedicate my time to making 9 individual characters, and this is something I've been working on long before what I'm showing you right now. But I decided I was finally gonna buckle down and I was gonna do it, and I was gonna turn them into keychains and illustrations for hopefully a zine that I'm going to release in October, but I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. I have the story outlined, but I basically just have to write it because I'm really interested in writing more stories. As you've probably seen throughout this video, I have a lot of lore behind my characters and a lot of ideas and things that I'd like to share with people, and I think that little homemade zines are a great way to do it. So this art here was basically me trying to dedicate me to this idea and say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. Also, you may have just seen a little small clip of my TV of Van Helsing. This was the day I decided to start my goal of watching as many vampire movies with vampire movies. The qualification is that they have to have a vampire in them, and it has to be a movie. Now that, the Summer I Turned Pretty season was over, I decided to go towards spooky season, just fully embrace it, and I have an entire chart now of different ratings for vampire movies, and I've already watched a good amount of them, kind of in the background, and some with Gerard, and yeah, I've decided to try to see what my favorite vampire movie of all time is, but I'm slowly realizing that it's gonna have to be, by decade, because there's a lot of movies out there that I like with vampires in them. So stay tuned for that. I definitely have to keep watching them before I can give a best, rating, but, tied to this is this little guy here, Peculiar Pumpkin Man. I kind of redesigned him a bit. He is inspired by this little metal guy that I had gotten and fell in love with years ago at a Marshall's or Ross, and it's kind of like a joke with in our house about Peculiar Pumpkin Man, but I don't know, he's a fun character. Oh, here's Fright Night, by the way. Fright Night, the 80s version. Anyway, like I said, watching a lot of vampire movies, and I like to watch things that relate to what I'm drawing, and it just further somehow makes my art better. It makes me happier, and I think that's part of the best part of this job, is being able to try to take the time to do that and embrace the things that I'm interested in, and hopefully that comes across in my art. You also see snails here because snails are also creatures that come out at night, and so that's basically what this whole series is my own little creatures, but also real life creatures that also come out at night. So besides admin work, I spent most of the rest of Thursday and Friday working on those, but then on the weekend, I went to this really, really cool pumpkin patch in the Bay Area, and they had Godzilla and King Kong and a whole bunch of marigolds and a bunch of beautiful pumpkins and a bunch of dinosaurs everywhere, which I'm a big dinosaur fan, so yeah, love this place. It's Spina Farms in Morgan Hill, so if you happen to be in the Bay Area, during when it's open, I definitely recommend. I'm not including a lot of clips here because I want people to go and enjoy it for themselves and not get spoiled about all of the exciting things, but I think they had a really good touch of fun big dinosaur and kaiju kind of things versus just like heartfelt fall and pumpkin things. Also during the weekend, I ended up finishing these charms and I was able to get them sent away to the manufacturer, and I was really excited about finally finishing them. It took me several days, which I didn't realize would actually happen, but the more I fell in love with the characters, the more it made sense to me, and I was really just really grateful to be able to spend this week spending time drawing and investing in my own stories and my art, and stretching that part of my brain that I keep mentioning. I think it's really good to do, especially when I look at a computer screen a lot and have to do a lot of admin work. So I actually ended up not using this illustration. I turned the catfish into a different kind of character. This was the last one that I was working on, and I was a little bit unsure of where I wanted to go with it. But it was turned in from like bobbing to apples to like a tea kind of creature, and it is a catfish because a lot of catfish species are actually most active at night. But yeah, it ended up being more of like a dapper kind of guy, and kind of like a tea party in the end. And so I'm not using this illustration, but I may revise it in the future, and I thought it'd be fun to show you because I did film it when I was drawing it, so I hope that you enjoy that bit of it. I think that about wraps up this video as well. That was all that I worked on this last week. Luckily, like I said, it was a really good drawing week for me, and I was really happy about that, and it was also a little bit of a slower week for me. I think this past summer was really jam-packed and really busy, and so the fall for me is a little bit of a time to regroup and draw and kind of get ready before the holiday season, which will also kind of ramp up a bit again. So I'm just grateful for these weeks where I have a little bit of time to make these videos and share a little bit about my job as a full-time artist working for myself. So thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you back at the channel another time. Bye!